99X in the Morning X. It's Barnes. It's Leslie. And a question that I would like to present is almost like a research case. I want to do some in-house research because I'm hearing this from friends of mine about their kids. And it's about music. So I have a question along those lines. I'd like you. This is going to be research study.
I love it. I love it.
Participate in next.
Hey, did you even realize when 99X came back on the air that we'd have our own beer? Well, not only do we have our own beer called the 99 Experiment, it's an award-winning beer from our friends at Mutation Brewing in Sandy Springs. Available now in cans and on tap all across Atlanta. You can find out more at mutationbrew.com or on the 99X app.
I have a buddy of mine, a couple of people who have brought this up recently, about how their kids are really into our music.
I'm getting that too. And I think some of them are discovering the music in video games.
Oh, is that how they're finding it?
Some of them are finding it, yes.
Well, a
video
couple of
games.
them, I had a couple friends who have said, hey, Dad, I really like The Offspring. And they're like, well, you know where that was first played ever, 99X. And they're like, oh, really? So they're discovering, and I don't take offense to it. They're like, well, what's 99X? Like, if you're 18, if you're 16, you may not know. I mean, we were gone for a while also in there. But I find it interesting, and I love that we're picking up...
Me too.
New listeners that are... it's almost like initial discovery of these bands.
Even you said that when you went to Pearl Jam, you saw a lot of
Tons.
moms and dads with their kids.
Tons.
Makes sense.
But what is it about, and I'll call it our music, meaning our generation's music, that, and even with them putting out new music now, what is that for some reason this younger generation is kind of clasping to? You see it in the shirts. I see a lot of Nirvana shirts. I see a lot of Soundgarden shirts out in the wild.
You see them in a lot of TV shows as well, playing our music.
That could be it.
A
Also,
lot of really cool shows.
Streaming, which our bands are getting a lot of publicity. If you think back, 4 years ago, when none of that was really happening, and then it started brewing. If you're listening right now, what is one of our bands that your kids have kind of locked onto?
It's a great question. It really is.
Because I'm hearing different ones, and I'm hearing Gen Blossoms, which it's funny to me because they were so big in the early 90s and through the 90s, and they're doing great now. But sometimes I think some of these kids think that it's just now that they're coming around. You know what I mean? That they're new.
The other phenomenon about how a lot of our bands are having the biggest careers and the biggest tours of their life, and some of them are getting back together and putting out new music, which is super exciting.
There are some that are dragging, that are just now finally getting off the couch. And they're like, all right, well, damn it, everyone else is doing it, so let's just do it. Hey, Morning X, good morning. Who is this?
This is David.
David, what's a 99X band that your kids love, that you're watching them love it?
Weezer.
Okay, that's a good one.
White Stripes, Blink-182.
What got them into it? What was the discovery for them?
Right. Well, one thing I call this their journey of musical education, because they went last year from Taylor Swift and Disney tunes to Aerosmith, AC/DC, Blink-182, things like that. A couple of reasons. One is they're both roller coaster fanatics. Again, they're 11 and 7. They love the rock and roller coaster at Disney, and because of that, they got exposed to Aerosmith.
It's funny you mentioned that because amusement parks are a big part of that younger... I still remember riding one of those tilt-a-whirls or something with Bad Company playing water
parks too.
That's a big one for discovery. So that's how your kids got on some of these bands, and now have they discovered 99X and understand that it actually flows from there?
They do. They've actually, like I said, I've also been giving the younger grandson guitar lessons.
Nice.
And started with a lot of pop punk because it's pretty basic power chord rock, and give them something to motivate them. So we learned Seven Nation Army, Beverly Hills, things like that.
I love that. Some of this, it's an osmosis also. When I would drive around in the 90s and my girls were young, I would be listening to our station and they would grasp to some of that. So maybe that muscle memory, years later with some of these kids that drove around, were being dropped off at school hearing 99X.
Yeah, and you're giving them guitar lessons and teaching
Love
them,
that.
like you said, the White Stripes and Weezer. That is so cool.
That's cool. Hey, thank you for listening to us. We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Have a great day. We'll see you
Thank
later.
I love it. Hi, Morning X. Who's this?
This is Jeff from Warner Robins.
Jeff and Warner Robins. Okay, tell us what music your kids are into that we play on 99X.
Last year we took her to see Foo Fighters at Shaky Knees, and then this year we took her to see Pearl Jam at the first show over at State Farm. She really, really loved both of them.
Love it.
Man, that kid's got a nice itinerary so far.
This is perfect. Perfect.
Yeah, she loved the energy at both shows.
How old is she?
21.
Oh, 21. So that's a little later, but still, she's just discovering all this. Is she like, wow, this is a thing?
Well, she's been bored to tears over the years with all my stories of grunge music growing up in the 90s and alternative music. So now she actually got to go and experience a little bit of it, and she's really enjoyed it.
Any other bands that she's found?
Wow. I'm trying to, no, wow. Mind blank.
Like, do you have her listening to 99X now and understanding that that's just a whole movement? It's not just a couple of bands?
I'm trying to get her to that point. Yeah, she's usually pretty busy throughout the day with classes. She's a senior at Kennesaw, so she's still kind of working through that during the day, but we're going to get her there.
Cool, Dad.
That's a good starter. A couple of concerts there for her to be like, wow, this is pretty cool.
Yeah, she's a music major, so she loves live music whenever we can get to it.
Love that. Well, appreciate you doing the force feed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Light. Have a great day. See you later. Yep. Morning X. Good morning. Who is this?
Hey, this is Amber.
Hey, Amber, name a 99X band that your kids have locked onto.
Absolutely, Driving and Crying and Third Eye Blind.
Well, that's an interesting couple. How did those two become? They're very opposite ends of the spectrum.
That's because their mom listens to multiple kinds of music herself. So,
And what for Third Eye Blind? Do they walk around like singing some of it? Like some of those lyrics are questionable.
Motorcycle Drive By is like my favorite song. So I think I've played that so much that that one's locked in on the brain. So, and I have two kids, and they're 8 years apart. My older one, he always did his own thing. He never really listened to what we were listening to. My younger one, he is in a band himself, and he is kind of a snob about music. So he's all about finding what's new and what's cool, and he doesn't want. And then, those are my main ones to listen to with me. But other than that, he's always playing new bands and local bands, and so those are just family favorites.
Well, tell him to listen to Planet Jill because she does a great job and spends a lot of time finding great new stuff and plays it.
Well, we have listened to that a good bit. And he wants his band on there. So
there you
send
go.
it to her. If it's good enough, she'll play it.
That's right. He's working towards
we'll have to send it through.
All right.
Thanks,
you.
Amber.
Appreciate you listening to us.
Okay. Thank y'all very much. I enjoyed it.
Thank you. We'll see you later. And man, the phone is exploding. Gonna take a break. Come back. What's a band that you've turned your kid onto that's kind of sticking? Like, I love this whole new generation of 99Xers that are rising up.
Have something to say or share with the Morning X? 470-741-4999. The Morning X with Barnes and Leslie. 470-741-499X.
This is a recording.
Nightly Scroll with Haley Carania.
It is Haley Carania. I'm excited to be here because there's a lot to scroll through on X, on Instagram, on TikTok, on Truth Social. Love seeing you all in the chat before the show. I tried to jump in just a few minutes before to say hello. I love the chat interaction. Thank you for helping. Love all my homies that I get to scroll with. If you want to listen, Nightly Scroll with Haley is where you can find me. Just search that up and I will be there. We've got to spread the word far and wide.
Nightly Scroll with Haley Carania. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.